Welcome everybody to Flex or Fade, where Chris K and I take two players on the DraftKings main slate and decide whether or not we're going to be including them in our lineups this week. Really, the most recent weeks, we've been dialing in on some more competitive guys and deciding which of the great position group of the week do we really want to be playing. This week, we've had Quinshon Judkins that we've already discussed. We're going to talk about Marcus Carroll right now. Carroll comes in at $7,000, just $100 more expensive than Quinshon at $6,900. Marcus Carroll has a very tough matchup on paper. He is playing the James Madison Dukes. James Madison, their rushing defense has been wild through 8 games. And it's really a testament to Marcus Carroll and the volume in which he's been receiving throughout the season, really, as to why I like Carroll quite a bit more than Judkins this week. I think both are fine plays. Both will be in my lineups, but Carroll's just going to have a much greater quantity of ownership for me. Looking at the numbers for Carroll, he has gone over 26 carries in 4 of the last 5 games. He's gone over 26 carries. He has only failed to clear the century mark against Charlotte and Troy so far this year. And he has scored a touchdown in all but 1 game. He's got 3 multiple touchdown games on the ground. And he's also not a 0 in the passing game. He's not a stud in the passing game, but he's getting, 2 or 3 targets a game. Which does make him a viable option as kind of a better floor than some others might have. Honestly, though, with all of the carries that he's been getting, it really just comes down to touchdown equity for him. I know, this game total has a 54.5 point total. Georgia State is 5.5 point dogs at home. I do think that this is just a great opportunity for them to really show their salt in the Sun Belt and be able to come out against a tough quality opponent and get that production, that offensive production. Obviously, between Granger and Carroll and Robert Lewis, it's a very highly concentrated volume for Georgia State. And so I just tend to gravitate more that way and why I like him more than, say, Quinshon, who's on an offense that's a little bit more spread out and evenly distributed. But, Kay, what are your thoughts on Carroll this week?
I mean, we're really splitting hairs with these picks. I mean, Carroll is a really good option. I mean, his game log is insane. His usage is insane. I mean, he played well against Troy, who's a really good defense for G5 specifically, but just good in general. When I'm thinking about why maybe this guy over that guy, I think there's some red flags and more on the focus of like the Vegas total for them is around 24, which is not that much higher than like Judkins or like Ollie Gordon, but playing from behind potentially, I'm kind of concerned about maybe how good Granger is against JMU. JMU's defense, like you kind of mentioned, on paper has been incredible, like 1.5 yards per carry. But they've also kind of fallen into some lucky situations, meaning like Rashina Lee not playing for Marshall. Yeah. They also played Bucknell. They also played Virginia back at the beginning of the year. They don't have a run game. They're just straight passing. Yeah. So it's not like the matchups have been that difficult, but to call out 2 specific plays, if I'm trying to be nitpicky, or 2 specific games, Kamani Vidal is an incredible running back in the G5 ranks. He ran for 27 yards on 11 carries. LaDamian Webb, we've seen how great he's been more recently. Specifically, he had 12 carries for 36 yards against JMU. You almost wonder, like, why is this happening? These guys like Webb and Vidal are like such a volume type plays, and they get 11, 12 carries. Like, do teams think they need to attack them through the air or something? Like, I don't know. It's difficult because JMU's sacks, they just get so many sacks as well. So that skews numbers. I think Carroll's a great play. He's going to get 20 plus touches. I would be shocked if he doesn't get 1 of 3 touchdowns. Let's say they score 3 touchdowns. I'd be shocked if he doesn't get 1 of them type thing. So certainly like the play in comparison to some of these other guys. I would lean a little bit more towards them, but I still see myself with a decent amount of Carroll this weekend on the main slate. It's a fun argument to have. Super nitpicky. I think between Judkins and Carroll, we picked two really good options. Just which one do we favor more? Curious to hear everybody's thoughts on Twitter and Discord as well. Who are you preferring maybe between Carroll and Judkins with such similar pricing? Ultimately, though, best of luck in the lineups and with your picks yourselves. Enjoy the weekend.